I've hid embarrassing notes in my house as a joke because I know my fiance mom snoops. My future mother-in-law Janet has been driving me absolutely insane for the past year. Every time she comes over to visit my fiance Mike, she finds excuses to wander around our apartment like she's conducting some kind of FBI investigation. I first noticed it when I came home early from work and caught her going through my kitchen drawers. When I walked in, she pretended she was looking for a spoon to stir her coffee. The spoons were sitting right there on the counter in plain sight. Then I started finding my stuff moved around. My bedroom dresser drawers would be slightly open when I knew I'd close them. My bathroom cabinet looked different, like someone had been rifling through my makeup and face creams. The worst part was when I found her in my home office reading through papers on my desk. She claimed she was looking for a pen, but I had just bought a new pack and they were sitting right next to my computer mouse. Mike didn't believe me at first. He kept saying his mom was just naturally curious and that I was being paranoid, but I knew what I was seeing. This woman was snooping through my personal stuff every chance she got. So I decided to have a little fun with it. I started leaving fake notes around the house in places where only a serious snoop would find them. I wrote them on random scraps of paper and hid them in drawers, behind picture frames, and inside books. The first note I planted in my underwear drawer said, "Remember to hide the evidence better next time." Mom was almost suspicious about the gambling debt. I tucked it under a stack of socks where someone would only find it if they were really digging around. The second note went inside my jewelry box and said, "Call Dr. Wilson about the weird rash results. Hope Mike doesn't find out it's contagious." I made sure to use messy handwriting so it looked like a real reminder to myself. My favorite note was the one I put inside a cookbook on my bookshelf. It said, "Pick up more hair growth cream from pharmacy. The mustache is getting noticeable and Mike keeps staring." I knew she'd find that one because she always commented on my cooking. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Janet came over for Sunday dinner like always, and she acted completely normal. I started wondering if maybe I was wrong about the snooping thing. Then last Tuesday, Mike came home from work looking really confused. He sat me down on the couch and said we needed to have a serious talk. My heart started racing because I thought something bad had happened. He asked me about my gambling problem. Then he wanted to know about the contagious rash I apparently had. Finally, he asked if I was growing facial hair and why I hadn't told him about any of these issues. I couldn't help myself. I started laughing so hard I almost fell off the couch. Mike looked at me like I'd lost my mind. When I finally caught my breath, I told him the whole story about the fake notes and how I knew his mom was snooping. At first, he didn't believe me, but then I showed him where I'd hidden each note. I explained how someone would only find them if they were going through my personal belongings when I wasn't home. That's when it clicked for him. He got this look on his face like everything suddenly made sense. He said his mom had been asking him weird questions about my health and finances for weeks, but he couldn't figure out why. We decided to confront her together. When Janet came over for dinner that weekend, Mike casually brought up the notes. He asked if she had any concerns about my medical issues that she wanted to discuss. Janet's face turned bright red. She started stuttering about how she'd accidentally seen some papers and was just worried about my well-being. Mike told her that accidentally finding notes hidden in underwear drawers and jewelry boxes wasn't really an accident. She tried to defend herself by saying she was just looking out for her son's future. I told her that going through my personal belongings was a violation of my privacy and that it needed to stop immediately. Janet started crying and said she was just trying to make sure I was good enough for her precious boy. That's when Mike stepped up and told her that if she couldn't respect my privacy, she wasn't welcome in our home anymore. She apologized through her tears and promised she'd never snoop again. But the damage was done. Mike finally saw what I'd been dealing with for months. Now when Janet visits, she sits on the couch the entire time and doesn't even ask to use the bathroom. And Mike always stays in the same room with her just to make sure she keeps her word. Those fake notes were the best idea I ever had.